We gon' shine together. Ooh, ooh, we gon' shine together.
Hi, my name is Angelica Harris, and this is Cool, Calm, and Connected, episode 4. Now, today is going to be a special Mother's Day edition. So first, let's give a shout out to all the mothers everywhere, especially my mother, Miss Carol Powell. Thank you so much for who you are and what you do. And so the title of this episode is going to be called Hey Mama, and it includes an interview with Mama Sarahn, Henderson, and Lealah Alghanee. Now, how are you connected to these people? How do you know these people? Well, Giwayen Mata is definitely the connection. Mama Sarahn is one of the founding members of Giwayen Mata, and Lealah is a second generation Giwayen Mata. But this whole episode won't be just about that. So with further ado, let me introduce to you guys two of my sisters and Mama Sarahn. I'm sorry, it's not a sisterhood, but Mama Sarah's a founding member. So she's like Mama Sarahn and then my sister Lealah here to tell us more about who they are and what they do. Hello and welcome to the show. How are you?
I'm good. How you doing?
I'm feeling really, really blessed today. Thank you guys so much for joining me here on Cool, Calm, and Connected. And we're gonna go ahead and get right to it. First, I would just want you to let everybody know who you are and you know what you do and how we're connected. Let's start with you, Miss Lealah.
My name is Lealah Alghanee. I am, during the school week, I am a school teacher, a third grade teacher. I teach math and ELA at a dual language school. I am a mother of two beautiful girls. One is going to be 4 soon and the other one is 1. I am a dancer and a drummer in Giwayen Mata along with you. And me and my mama, we run Maternal Wellness Hikers.
All right, and Mama Sarahn, I want you to let everybody know who you are and everything that you have going on. You're so awesome and so dope. I love that hat, by the way.
Thank you. I am Mama Sarahn, and I am the mother of 5 and the grandmother of 4 children. And I am also a community midwife. What I mean by community midwife is that I specialize in home deliveries. And I am one of the founding members of Giwayen Mata, which you and Lealah are a company member of. And I am also the co-founder of Maternal Wellness Hiker with my partner and daughter here, Lealah.
You wear a lot of hats.
Really many hats. She just said, I'm just like a community midwife, like she hasn't birthed over thousands of babies here in the Metro Atlanta area. That was very smooth. Okay, so with the Maternal Wellness Hikers, how did that get started, Lealah?
We started hiking, my mom and I, when I was expecting 90. That was about 3 years ago. And we would just go hiking just for exercise. And then we kind of put a hold on it. And then when I was expecting Keeley, we started hiking, and I thought to myself, like, this is something that is useful for everyone in our community. My friends, some of my friends were expecting it at the time, and they would always ask me questions. And I was just like, go talk to my mom. I don't know. Go ask her. And so about a month into my pregnancy, or maybe 2 months into my pregnancy, my mom and I, we hiked with a friend of mine and my sister. And we said, let's open this up to our community. Let's be an outreach for our community and build these resources for one another. And it has blossomed into what it is today.
Okay. And
What pushed it further into fruition too is that we started this 2 years ago, right when COVID started.
Yeah.
And so this was a perfect opportunity for women and their families to get out of the house, because at that time, everybody was bunkering in. Everybody was staying in the house, not getting any sunlight, not getting any exercise, getting fat and getting depressed. And we figured that if we invite these mamas to come out, they would get all the opposite. They would get some camaraderie, some fresh air, some sunlight. In Atlanta to be guest speakers. And they would come in during our water breaks. Well, they would hike along with us, but during our water breaks and do a presentation informing people about the services or either the products that they had. And so it's just kind of really just grew organically on its own. What started happening was that we were now introducing people to not only to a new world of mysteries of the forests, but also opening up a new world of resources that are available here in Atlanta for them, for their maternal needs that they may not have otherwise ran into.
And and a community of friends too. I know during that time, I was like, oh, I'm just the only one expecting me and my friend. But as we continue with these hikes, I've gained friends, mama friends, and it's like I can call and be like, hey, my baby got a diaper rash. What you using for your baby? And so we've made a community of friends, a circle of women where we can connect with each other and kind of just do this all together.
I think that's beautiful, especially like with people that are going through the same things that you are going through, or maybe they might know things that you don't know. And then Mama Sarahn, with you being a midwife, I think that's very vital. And so why do you think these resources are so vital in our communities?
Well, for one thing, Georgia ranks high, the highest next to Louisiana in the nation's maternal mortality rates. That's a major problem. It's a major problem that's not oftentimes publicized, but if you look it up, you'll discover that it is a crisis, that we do rank higher, not only second or first, depending on what month of the year it is, but we also rank higher than some developing countries in mortality, in maternal mortality and infant mortality. And so when we think about some of the issues, other than things that go on in the hospitals that we won't mention, when we think about the things that women can do to empower themselves during the pregnancy, then we bring resources in that help to match it. So for instance, postpartum, not only is the mortality rates high during childbirth, but it also extends beyond birth. It goes up to the first year. And so postpartum is oftentimes neglected. We don't talk about postpartum. We don't get postpartum help. We don't value the postpartum period as in other countries. And so we have people who are postpartum doulas that will come in and talk about services that they provide, the benefits of having a postpartum doula, and that connects them with that resource. You have women that are just now getting back to breastfeeding. When I was born, which was in the 50s, women, not only were they being discouraged from having home births, but during that same era, mothers were also being discouraged from breastfeeding their babies. And so after a child was born, a mother was given some medicine or injection that will dry up her milk, and then she would go home with a supply of formula. So then we have like generations or decades of upcoming mothers from the 60s and 70s and 80s and 90s who are not accustomed to breastfeeding because they don't have the examples before them, like their mothers or their grandmothers, because they didn't breastfeed. And so you see more advertisements and more publicity about breastfeeding so that we can encourage breastfeeding back into our communities, because we all know that breast milk is the best milk for babies. And so we'll have lactation specialists that will come in and talk about just that, the importance of breastfeeding, breast care, nipple care. And so those are just two examples. Mental health, maternal mental health is another thing that affects our mothers as well. And so we've had speakers to come in and address and talk about maternal mental health. In addition to mom emotions, prenatal fitness, prenatal yoga, nutrition, all those things that moms need to hear. So it's kind of like a condensed childbirth education class that they're getting on our hikes. Mm-hmm. And these presenters are leaving leads back to them, either giveaways or business cards, so that if these mothers and families want to utilize their services, they know how to connect to these people. So that's what we do.
I think it's great that you not only are providing a healthy way with these mothers and other people that may attend the hikes and education. They're getting that education that you need firsthand from somebody with experience. And so what would you say are the benefits of these mothers in the community that are invited to come on these hikes with you guys?
The benefits, well, for the moms, you get a community. We've had some moms who've come who haven't heard of a midwife or a doula, and so we create that community, that resource for the mamas. And then for the people who provide the resources, the birth workers, they're able to get clientele. I always welcome, if you're a Black birth worker in Atlanta, Georgia, join our hikes, because this is where you can get some of your clientele from. And then we're getting fresh air. We do it on Sundays to kick off our week. And so I benefit from it every week, because it's like, okay, I'm starting my week outside. I'm getting fresh air. I'm getting that vitamin D. And so it gives me a positive foot stepping into the week. What you think?
Another example is that Leelah's right. I wear a lot of hats. I do a lot of things. That I do have some downtime also, but I can't do everything. In my 43 tenure into midwifery, I've been a childbirth educator, a labor doula, a postpartum doula, a midwife, and a number of other things. And I did those things as I was building my career, so that I can invest in my knowledge base. But I can't do everything. And so what I have found with some of the mamas who did not consider, this is an example, who did not consider postpartum help, who have been on our hikes, who then gave birth to the babies and then realized, I need help. Mm-hmm. They can go back to our database and look up the postpartum doulas that have been on our walks before and call them up and call them in. So it's that networking that takes place.
They also received giveaways. For my birthday, we did a hike where all of our previous mamas who are in postpartum right now, I asked them, are there any things that you don't need, that you, newborn diapers, like newborn clothes that the baby might have grown out of, breast shields, like different items that mamas need and we had a trunk full of stuff, 2 trunks full of things just for them to grab and go. And so every hike you get a trail mix, so you receive something from every hike. You benefit, whether it's knowledge, whether it's trail mix, whether it's a giveaway, you will receive something from our hikes. And Atlanta is so beautiful. There are so many trails that we don't know of. And so this gives me the opportunity to explore the trails that we have here. And it gives our mamas and families opportunities to experience these trails too, where if they can't come hiking with us, they can go out on their own and be able to hike a trail that they weren't familiar with before.
We honor the 4 directions. We have Native American in us, and so we honor the 4 directions. And so we make sure that we deliberately hit urban trails. That's trails that are in and around Atlanta in all 4 directions. We go up north, we go out west, we go south, and we go east. And most of our hikers who enjoy our hikes, they follow us all 4 directions. Mm-hmm. You might have some people that are like, well, I'd rather hike when you are closest to our area, and that's fine also. And not only do we have pregnant people that come, like Lealah said, we've had people who have already had their babies and they're trying to do the snap back. And so they come back and they start walking with us so they can get their figures back. Okay. But also grandparents, grandparents, they come out and support their children, and then the children, they come out. And I love it when the children come out because that's one time where they don't miss those screens.
They're unplugged,
from the wire, and they just love looking at nature, finding turtles along the trails, and just running around and being free. And we like to see that.
All right, so overall, that sounds amazing, because I'm grateful. Prior to this interview, I myself went on an actual hike with you guys, because I'm really big on I don't like promoting or doing anything that I don't actually use myself, because I just think that that's like not real. And so it was cool for me to show up and go hiking in the nature. It was peaceful. It was beautiful. No, I'm not expecting, but I just like the support and the love and the community that you provide. So who all would you say, like, if you were going out and you wanted more and more mothers and things, like who all can actually, like who all would you like guys like to be on that hike with these mothers, these expectant mothers or postpartum mothers? Like who all overall would you guys want to be there?
Anybody and everybody that supports maternal wellness. You know, even if they're coming out for the exercise, but they also want to gain some knowledge and information that they can share with their sisters or their friends about their pregnancy needs or about their postpartum needs. Anybody that supports maternal wellness, it doesn't matter who they are, and it doesn't have to be people who are just into home births. This is we're addressing Georgia's maternal mortality crisis, health crisis. So it doesn't matter whether these mothers are having their babies at home or whether they're having their babies in the birthing center or whether they're having their babies in the hospital. We want all mamas to feel welcome to come out, and providers too.
Okay, and so what is BIPOC and why are these hikes ideal for that community?
You do BIPOC.
Well, BIPOC is what we're already talking about. Black, Indigenous, people of color.
Period.
Yeah. And so we're the ones that fall through the cracks oftentimes. You know, we're the ones that are overlooked. And so we're about empowering people, you know, taking our own health back into our own hands, doing it the FUBU way, as you all know FUBU is. Doing it on the ground level. You know, it's obvious that the system has failed these mothers, and it's typical for people to hand over their health care to doctors. It's time for them to take their health care into themselves, to be more informed and to be better advocates for themselves. You become more informed and better advocates by empowering yourself with knowledge. And that's what we're about, giving out knowledge. The trail mixes that Lealah mentioned a few minutes ago is just to show people that there are healthier alternatives to Lay's potato chips and Snicker bars, you know, as a snack. And so we put together our own signature trail mix where we selected certain berries and dried fruits and proteins and blended them all together with a whole bunch of love and packaged them up. And then we give them away to each of the couples that come by, each of the persons that come. We give them one, and they all love it. And but this is a healthier snack. The berries and the dried fruits are excellent for building iron. A pregnant mother needs her iron levels to be up. Too many women walking around knowing that they're anemic. They haven't been taught how to not be anemic or how to raise their blood levels up. So we talk about that, but we also show them that this is how you can do it through this trail mix by eating the berries and the fruit, in addition to other foods too, but in the snack department. And then the nuts that we've chosen are to give mothers protein. For one example, preeclampsia is one of the disparities that some mothers experience during their pregnancy. And a lot of times is a lack of protein that's in their diet. As a matter of fact, a lot of things that we do succumb during pregnancy, especially with Black and Indigenous people, it could be hypertension, gestational diabetes, or preeclampsia. Those are three main ones. They're deeply rooted in diet and nutrition. And so we pound that on them through our presentations, but we also give them examples of healthier eating snacks, alternatives to like the junk foods. So they can take that home and, you know, make their own trail mixes and take it to work or take it wherever with them.
I'm not going to even lie to you guys. I finished my trail mix today and it is amazing. It is so good. I've never been on a hike where people actually give you trail mix and they give you education. And so this is just so much more than just a hike, if I'm being honest. And so is there a cost to these hikes?
Absolutely not.
No,
Okay, can people donate to keep these things going?
yes, people can donate, and we're getting ready to set up a GoFundMe,
Okay.
and we'll publish that. But people can trace us by going on Facebook or either going on Instagram and follow Maternal Wellness Hikers. We post on there every week, and once we get our GoFundMe set up, then that's when people can start putting their donations in there. And it's a great way to donate because, you know, it's like you said, it's offering more than just a hike. You know, they're coming away with a big package. Otherwise, we do have volunteer people who say, you all doing a great job. Can we give you a donation? So we have received donations where people just write us a check and so on.
All right, so a couple of years ago, you guys identified that these hikes were a major need in our community. And so you followed through with the mission of organizing these things and helping with the resources. And so I want to ask you, so like, what's next? Like, what do you see this thing going? Like, how do you want to grow? What's next for the maternal hikes? Like, what's next?
I want to go out the state. There is so many. I hike. I love to hike.
All right.
I love getting lost in the woods and trying to find my way.
We're at a fork. Are we supposed to turn left or turn right?
Yeah, I like being outside. I enjoy it. And so I want to visit different trails. And with visiting different trails, I want to reach other communities in different states as well. Atlanta is the highest state. Well, Atlanta, Georgia is the highest maternal mortality rate. Did I say that right?
No.
Georgia is the highest state with the maternal mortality rate. But there are other women, there are other families, there are other supporters outside of Atlanta that I would like to reach to. I want this thing to go nationwide.
The other thing that we're looking into doing too to help manifest that is to create I guess it'd be somewhat like a podcast where our hikes where there are presenters, they're in New York or California or Texas or in South Carolina or elsewhere, and here our presenters present. And so that's a way that we can reach people even beyond us being there physically hiking with them.
All right, so
that's what we're working on now.
Create a water break podcast where, like, even if you can't physically be there to hike with us, we want to still get you that information that will help overall and spread it like wildfire to different states, so we can bring attention to this important issue that's going on with mothers in our community. I think that's beautiful. I cannot wait to be a part of that. For sure.
Hey.
So, Lealah, this question is for you. How has it been working alongside your mom to help mothers in our communities?
Let me tell you, I've been on my mama's hip since I was born, okay? But I enjoy this. I enjoy us working together. I enjoy being able to create this resource for other people. It makes me happy to be able to give this information, but it's fun working with her. I don't know, it's fun. I've always been by her side. I've always been her partner in crime. So I don't know. I enjoy it a lot though.
Good lead hiker. You know, Leelah's been a cheerleader ever since she was a little girl.
Okay.
And so she's the perfect person to get everybody geeked up to go on this hike. All right, we're getting ready to do an incline. Let's do it. You can do it. And so she makes a good partner, you know.
And I think we make good partners, especially with Maternal Wellness Hikers. I think I have the hiking side down pack, and she has the maternal side down pack. Y'all heard how she just preached about what Atlanta, Georgia has going on and how we need to do better within our community. So I think together it makes like the perfect partnership.
I think it's super cool, and I think it's dope, Lealah, that your kids also go on the hikes as well, because they are seeing what's going on and they are learning and they are soaking it in. And so, like, one day Nandi's gonna lead the hike, and I'm just gonna be there like, oh my gosh, I told you guys, yes, watch.
Yes, that's why we encourage to bring the children, because we want to break this generation, not a curse, but we want to just break this cycle where we think that we have to go to the hospital for everything, where we have to go to pharmaceutical drugs for everything, where we have to rely on fast food for everything. Grow gardens. Take your babies outside and plant seeds. Let them watch it grow so that they teach their children and their children it needs to be continuous. It doesn't need to just stop here. And that's why I want Nadia and Keeley to come, so that they know when they're expecting, or if they have a friend expecting, they have answers that they can give us outside of what the doctors give us.
I think it's beautiful. You guys are building basically legacy through community connections. And so I'm gonna shift gears a little bit and talk more about how we're connected, which is Giwayen Mata. And so, Mama Sarahn, we just celebrated 29 years of an organization that you started, which is amazing. You know what I mean? So, how did that feel? Soaking all that in, like being celebrated is like, you're one of the founding members. So how was the anniversary for you per se?
It was great. It was great. What was one of the most precious things is that, I don't know, it's about five or six of our company members. Well, more than that, really. There's many company members that have experienced me as a midwife, either being a midwife to them or either delivering them. And so this 29th,
or their babies.
Or their babies, yeah. And so, like right now, the concert that you were in with us, the 29th anniversary, there's 5 company members that are in our group, where they celebrated me and I celebrated them because I was there at their births. And here they are, grown women having babies themselves, who are performing with us. So that's really special, just to keep having that community, within the dance company. And just to know that myself and nine other ladies created an institution. Giwayen Mata is an institution that is worldwide known. And being a part of that legacy is pretty awesome. People, we've had over, we're now at 88. We've had over 88 people who have come through Giwayen Mata as members, and we have a ruling or a slogan: once a Giwa, always a Giwa. So we have some Giwas that hang in there over the years, over the decades. We have some that move on with their lives or move out of state or whatever. But once they're a Giwa, they're always a Giwa, and they can always come back to our performances and be a part of the performances or our annual performance. And, Giwayen Mata is not just a company that entertains people, but through our entertainment, we challenge people to dig into their roots by understanding where they came from, where we all come from, by the stories that are told by our dancing and by the songs that we sing, and the little skits or the little plays that we put together is a learning experience. And we catch people at all levels. We go to preschools and we do little demonstrations with preschools, elementary schools, middle schools, high schools, all the way up to universities, and teach through our entertainment.
And Lealah, how did you know that you wanted to join Giwayen Mata?
Giwayen Mata has always been in me. I don't remember when they first started. I was 3, but I do remember as the years went by, especially when I was like in my elementary years, going to classes, going to rehearsals, and then being in the shows as a featured dancer. It's always been a part of me. But when I moved back to Atlanta and was settled into Atlanta, that's when I was like, okay, I'm here. I want to officially be a member. So that was about 5 years ago.
Okay. And do you think that your daughters are going to want to
Absolutely. Okay. It's in our blood.
So we're just going to see generations.
Generation, baby.
Awesome. I think that is totally awesome. I also, another beautiful moment that you probably did realize, maybe didn't realize that was happening, is when both of you guys were on the drums at the same time. I was like, look at that mother and daughter duo as we turn up this percussion section over here. Okay. I think that I really have a lot of admiration and love when I think of you guys, because that's all you guys give is a lot of love. Mama Sarahn, you basically told me that y'all got tired of people not showing up and drumming for the classes, so you guys learned how to drum and was like, we got this, because we gotta, so just always seeing like, there's a problem right here, but I'm just not gonna sit here and complain about what's going on. Let's gather collectively and find a solution on ways that we can continue to grow and make communities better, whether it be through Giwayen Mata, maternal wellness, and you guys know that's what I'm all about. So I am so grateful that we were able to really strengthen our connection during the 29th anniversary, because you guys are my family. My family's not here. My mama not here. So Mama Sarahn, Mama, you know what I'm saying? Lealah, you're my sister, and it's all love, and I cannot wait to see the maternal wellness hikes continue to grow through education, through love, through word of mouth. Bad things travel really quickly, but so do good and great things. So we're just gonna continue to stay focused and stay on the mission and stick with positivity and get out here and hike and be healthy and be in nature. And anything that I can do to continue to support and grow this mission, just know I am here. And
we appreciate that.
And just having us on your podcast is a big deal for us, because with your podcast, people can see you and what you're broadcasting all over. And that's what it's about. We've had people who have contacted us on Instagram, direct messaging us, wanting to know, how can I do this in my state? And like Lealah said, it'll be really nice to, plug into different states and say, we'll be in South Carolina, we'll be in Charleston, this date right here. Come meet us at this park. We're gonna go hiking.
Or have ambassadors in Tennessee. Hey, we got a group that wants to go hiking. There's an ambassador in Tennessee that can lead that hike. There's so much potential, and we appreciate you having us on the show and giving us those thoughts and letting us be able to flow and really tap into what we can continue to do and blossom into even more.
One of the things that hiking in the woods does is it puts you in an environment of peace and tranquility, because you're right there in nature. You're breathing in, especially this time of the year, you're breathing in all the oxygen that the foliage, the grass and the leaves from the bushes and the trees are putting out. And just by walking on the earth, when you think about it, most of the times we're walking on concrete. Our energy is not even connected to the electrical fields of the earth. But getting mamas and their families out on the ground is healing all in itself. A lot of us have fear of the forest. I think a lot of that fear stems from childhood, when we were brought up hearing all those Hansel and Gretel kind of stories when we were little kids. It instilled a little bit of fear. But then I equate that to birth. A lot of people are afraid of birth. And so when you put people in an environment like the forest and they learn how to let go of those fears and trust in nature, then that's got to carry over to them when they go into labor. We have to stop fearing birth. Birth is a beautiful thing. Yes, you feel it. I'm not going to sugarcoat it at all, okay? It's work. There's a lot of work, but there's so much joy when you reach the other end of it. It's like when women give birth, they're like, I feel like I can do anything, And so deliberately, because we can very easily walk people around the belt line and these little paved hikes and whatnot, but it's just not the same. I want to put them in an environment where they're not used to, so they can learn how to let go and be free, so they can take that same energy to birth. Our culture here in the United States marinates fear in birth, and we're here to dispel that. It's not anything to be afraid of. You have some hours of labor and boom, you got a baby.
Okay. Oh.
She has so much knowledge. She has so much knowledge. You had that baby, okay?
Got a baby, okay. Well.
But I want to say one thing. I do appreciate working with my mama because I learn stuff all the time. Like I had a friend recently ask me some mama question, and I knew it off the top of my head because it's like I've heard her speak so much. I've heard her teach so much about it, and her passion with it that has inspired me to be like, okay, this is what we need. This is what I can do. This is how I can help. So I enjoy that part of it too, because my mama got all the knowledge.
Not all. I might have a quite a bit. I'm still learning too.
You're so humble.
We haven't been on this podcast that long, but you're dropping gems right now. So if you just need somebody to talk to sometime, you can always just call me like, hey, I just really want to talk to you. Yes, mom. Go ahead, teach me something new. I want to know as much as I can about everything. So go ahead and say, I really appreciate you guys for coming on Cool, Calm, and Connected. This is a special Mother's Day edition, so this episode will be airing on Mother's Day. And Mama Sarahn, thank you for who you are and everything that you do. Lealah, thank you for who you are and everything that you do. You're beautiful all the way around. You're a fantastic mother, woman. You guys embody what elephant women we are all elephant women, just trying to make the community better in the ways that we know how to. And so thank you so much for this time here on Cool, Calm, and Connected.
Thank you so much.
You all tune in to us, because what we do also, until we do get that podcast going, is that when we do have our water breaks, we do it live on Instagram Live as well as Facebook. So if you can't catch us in person on the trails, then tune in on Sundays and listen to us on Instagram and on Facebook. And that's with Maternal Wellness Hikers. And thank you for having us too.
Of course, I'll see you guys soon.
And happy Mother's Day to every woman out there.
Happy Mother's Day.
Absolutely.
You deserve to be celebrated every single day.
Every day. All right. Thank you guys. Talk to you soon.
All right. Peace.
Thank you.
Peace. And that was episode 4 of Cool, Calm, and Connected, entitled, Hey Mama. Once again, we want to say a happy Mother's Day to all the mothers out there. Also want to send love out to anybody whose mother is no longer here with us. Praying for you, praying for all the mothers, and see you guys soon. Once again, I'm your host, Angelica Harris. This is Cool, Calm, and Connected. Peace.
We gon' shine together.